Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode on my Minecraft server. Now, I've got a bit of a fun little thing to start off today's video. As you can see back behind me, there is a massive tower of diamond ore. We've been working pretty hard down in the mine, and I've got over a full stack of diamond ore blocks. Yeah, that's more than 64 ore. So go ahead and guess, if you will, how many diamonds we're going to get out of this stack, and leave them down in the comments below. All right, so that diamond collection went pretty well. And go ahead and leave those comments if you haven't already. But we've got over 3 full stacks of diamonds. And if we put that together with the diamonds that we already have in our reserve, that gives us almost 4 stacks. So we're going to get all kitted out and transfer over from our iron armor to a full set of diamond armor. And I'll do some enchants on that armor off camera. But this is a pretty big advancement in terms of not only our armor, but our tools and our resources going forward as well. So that is super, super exciting. Now, 2 big advancements that I've made since our last episode is I did go ahead and get a secondary account to use for some camera work. And that's the view that you're seeing right now because I needed to make a little bit of some more efficient use of my farmland. Now, as you're aware, we moved in next to a little village and we've slowly been repopulating that village with a couple of different villagers. And I've got a couple of farmers that are offering some pretty good trades with some of the produce that we have. Problem is, the produce is growing pretty slow, and so what I wanted to do was take a moment and put together a farm where we can harvest all of that produce, all that goods, automatically, which works really, really well. Now, this is a design by Blenscraft TV, and I'll go ahead and leave a link to his tutorial on how to make this design in the description down below. It's pretty efficient and works very, very well. Now, this first iteration that I'm building here is specifically for a wheat farm. And this will work with all types of crops that are not grown on a vine. So pumpkins and watermelons don't work in this particular design, but you can grow everything from beetroots to carrots to potatoes to wheat in this field. And you can even use a similar setup to harvest netherwort. Now you'll see I have a small little netherwort farm there next to this build that I'm putting together. And we will be repurposing this build a little bit to build up the netherwort instead of the exact same design. Now the biggest difference is you see these 2 little water channels on either side of the little plains area that I'm setting up. That's really the only thing that you need to omit when repurposing this farm design for netherwort. Now we're running back and forth a little bit to set up some of our collection system. And down here at the bottom, you'll notice that I have the collections running off to the one side. We've got a double chest sitting down below there and a hopper to collect the goods that come out of the farm here. So that chest will collect both the seeds and the actual harvested wheat and store it all together in one nice location. And that wheat will be good for continuing work with our cattle farm as well as trading with and breeding more of our villagers, as we can use wheat to make some bread. Now, from the skeleton farm, I'm actually able to harvest the bows that are needed to make the dispensers that you see there in the background. And as soon as you've got a dispenser set up in the background, you've just got to leave a water bucket on the inside and then line redstone along the edge here. Now, you are going to need 2 repeaters, but that's the most sophisticated stuff that you're going to need from that redstone. So you'll see that we have 1 repeater there, and there's another one just back behind after the wall turns there. And I do take some time to cover it up because redstone, though as cool as it is, it's kind of ugly looking. So this will just make it seem a little more formal and collected as we have that put together. Now at this point, I'm just covering up the remainder of the edges there of that redstone. I'm using andesite for the overall encompassing version, though you can really fill it with basically anything that you want. If you wanted to make it all out of dirt, you could, but it's just for a matter of keeping things looking a little more uniform, if you will. And I'm starting to dip over into that nether farm, or the nether wart farm, but we will be ripping that down completely off camera, and you'll see the finished product once I've repurposed the farm to one of these designs afterwards. Now at this point we've got the farm all put together, so it's just a matter of plowing the field and planting the wheat. Now that is the one drawback of this farm design, is you have to plant everything by hand. But as you'll see here, we now have our 3 different farms put together. We've got potatoes over here on the far right, and some nether wart there in the middle, and we're going to show you just how easily this works to harvest. It harvests almost 2 full stacks of base source resources, and you can see there that as you press the button, it opens the dispensers in the back, and that will cause the water to rush all the way down from the back to the front, and it knocks down every single plant on its way down. And with one more tap of the button at each of these locations, it turns the dispenser off, ready for its next use the next time that you go around. So you don't need to refill your water buckets, anything else. It will fully automate for the harvesting of the materials here. Then we'll take a glance down at these chests down below, just so you can kind of see how things filter out. Now with the wheat, you tend to get a lot of extra seed in with the goods that are being dropped. So we'll just grab 2 of those blocks, and you can use the rest a couple of different ways. You can throw them into a composter to get some extra bone meal, or you can use them to breed up chickens. It's really your choice as to what you do with either one. But I'm grabbing enough of these resources to kind of replant the fields. And replanting the fields isn't the most tedious thing that you'll ever do, but it definitely is a little more time consuming than it otherwise would be if I could automate the planting of these things as well. Yeah, I could just have a farmer villager do it, but this is a lot more quick if you just take, 5 minutes to restock the different fields that you have planted. And so we've now got all of our potatoes put back together, and the hopper is still collecting a couple of potatoes down there below. Now, netherwort, as I'm sure you're aware, you can't plant it on dirt. It has to be planted on soul sand, but it's not that hard to come by in the nethers. You find one bunch, you find an excessive amount, so you're really not going to have any issues or worries in tracking that down there. And netherwort tends to grow pretty quickly, so it's about on par with the other plants that you would put together here. And the last thing that we have to do is plant the wheat back down, and that will be everything that we really need to see or worry about here. So let's go ahead and put together the last of the wheat down here below in this lower section, and it will, just kind of run on its own. So we're going to pop over to our trading villagers, grab some emeralds from our farmer that harvests potatoes. We actually now have a farmer that collects carrots as well, so we'll be able to trade carrots and build up another carrot farm as well, which I'm sure we'll showcase in a future episode. But thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy the content, please feel free to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe as I bring more content to you on a daily basis. Thanks again for watching. You have yourself a great rest of your day.